G'day, it's Matt from Rive here. We recently had a client ask us about updating a Unifi controller. This one's a cloud instance that's hosted on Linux in Microsoft Azure. So all we're going to do is run you through a tutorial on updating it to the latest version. Let's change over to the screen share now. So here you'll see we've got our controller. When we normally log on, what will happen is it'll pop up and say that there's an update, controller update. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect to the console of the server using PuTTY via SSH. So make sure you've got the necessary access to the server and go through the process and make sure it's up to date. Now, you can see this one's up to date because there's only 2 packages to be updated. Normally what you would do is I'd probably do a reboot first, sudo reboot, go through that process, reconnect to the PuTTY afterwards, then do a sudo apt-get update. That will run through and it'll go and check all the repositories online to see if there's any updates available. So we'll just let it do its thing. Now it looks like here we've got an error on the Unifi one. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to switch across to another screen here. And we're going to go and do a sudo apt-get update --allow -release info -change. That will go through and do its thing, and now we've got that, so update. No, we've already done that. So apt-get install Unifi. Forgot to ask for admin rights, so we'll go ahead and do that. So what it'll do is it'll go ahead and it'll install the update. Hopefully it all comes down very nicely, and just pause it for the moment, let it do its thing. Okay, so it's done its thing, it's got to this point. So as always, it recommends that you have a backup of the system. You can do this from the controller interface by going to the settings cog down here. Can't connect to it at the moment because it's in the middle of updating, but have done that. We've also got a instance backup of the VM on Azure. So if we need to restore the whole thing back to where it was, we've got one from the 23rd, which is 3 days ago. No changes have been made since then, so we'll go ahead and do yes. You can see it's just going to continue to work through it, so we'll give it a few minutes to work through this, and I'll just pause it until it's done. Alright, so it's just finished here. You can see it's now returned back to the console command line, so that's all good. What I'm just going to do is go ahead and check this console now, log in using my password manager, have a look and see what's going on. So just close that for the moment. Wait for everything to load up. Of course, it always runs slowly when you're trying to do a live demo or recording. Let's just clear out that because it's got some irrelevant info there. That's probably why. Yep, that was why. Okay, so we've got 5.14. So we have updated. We're going to 5.13, which is good, but there will be a next step. So we'll go through that shortly. Just while we've got the interface back though, I'm going to jump back into the settings area here and go across to the backup. And this is where you should have a scheduled backup that's happening, and you can download that. You should do that before we start this process. So that's where you do the backup. Now I'll just check and make sure that we've got the right next steps. So I'm just going to pause the video quickly while I get that organized. Okay, I've come back, had a look at everything. It looks like the latest package or distribution is not available by the Linux repos yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go download a copy of the file from the live system and go and install it manually. So when we log on to the Unifi controller, we normally get this the pathway to download the file, which lands in this one here. And what we're going to do is just go into temp on the controller, do a wget and paste that in with a right click to go and get that file. And then we're going to do dpkg-i and then add that. And of course I forgot to add God mode rights, sudo on the front. And we have done a backup, so go ahead and unpack it. So what it's going to do is it's going to install the latest 5.14 version across on the top of the 5.13 version that we already updated earlier. So we're going to wait for it to go through and do that process, and I'll just pause the video while it does. Okay, and we're back. So the install's finished, haven't clicked on anything else, and the interface is reloaded here, and you can see straight away we're at 5.14, so that's good. Just go ahead and log back in, and we won't do don't send for the moment. What we should see is no more message about an update. Let's reload that again. Seem to be having trouble with that interface. So everything's up to date. The message has gone away with the update, so that would leave us with an up-to-date controller, which is good. So a little bit of a stuff around with it, but the two-step process to get it updated was good. The server's patched as well, so it's always good to have your internet-facing servers up to date. So hopefully that's been useful to somebody. It's my first video that I've been recording, so hopefully it's informative, because I'm sure the quality won't be that great. But yeah, give us some feedback and let us know. Cheers.